this market center in 2010, April of 2010, and just over 10 years. And you know, we've grown. I think when I took over the market center, we were at about 40 something agents, and we're a little over 200 now. So definitely grown in that time frame. And I can tell you, you know, the thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is more so mindset, because what I've found with the leaders in my market center, my ALC in particular, and most of the top 20%, they had never experienced a shift. And you know, I came, you know, to Keller Williams during a shift, and I came here in 2009, and I became the team leader in 2010. But I came during a shift for the reason of when I was out selling real estate with a different firm, I noticed that majority of the signs that I was seeing, friends of mine who was with Keller Williams was still doing transactions. And I'm like, what is going on? You know, what are they doing over there? And that kind of opened my eyes to just say, you know what, yeah, it might be a place, but I'm happy where I'm at. I'm still, you know, moving and grooving a little bit. However, those red signs kind of overtook me and piqued my interest. So, and it's funny how God works. I'm sorry, I'm a religious person. How he places you in places and make people cross your path. You know, he's always one step ahead of you, right? It's already written. So fast forward, I'm looking at these signs, you know, in 2008, in 2009, and I'm seeing Keller Williams agents and friends of mine that's with Keller Williams still doing great. So I go out to a friend's bachelor party out in Vegas, and I did a transactions a few weeks earlier with the Keller Williams agent, and she provided me with the shift book. So I'm reading it, dog airing it out on the way to Vegas. I didn't pick it up till I was flying on the plane, and I couldn't put it down. So that once we got to Vegas, we had a cabana set up. So we went out to the pool. I couldn't put this book down, right? Because it was like, man, this is some great stuff. And this lady walks over across the pool. I'm at the Bellagio. She comes over and she says, you must be in real estate. You know, you're reading that book. And I said, yeah. And she said, have you ever met the author? I said, no. She said, you know, well, I wrote some inserts in that book. I said, oh, you're in real estate too? She said, yeah. So she proceeded to ask questions of me and what firm I'm with. And she never mentioned Keller Williams to me. She just said, hey, my husband and I like to get in business with at least 12 people a year. And you seem interesting. You're into the book. I'd love to fly you out to an event that I'm having in a couple of months. Well, that lady, guys, was Diana Kokoska. No one who was over maps and wrote bold. That lady was Diana Kokoska that day. And to this day, Diana and I are good friends. I can get her on the phone. But my point in saying that is, it's all about your mindset. Now, I knew friends who just felt like the market was crazy and you know, what you focus on expands, and they were just, you know, focusing on things that they can't control. And my mindset was different. So look what happened. Energies attracted one another. So I just want to start off with that, so that, you know, when I go through some slides and talk to you guys about some things, you know, I hope you receive it. But I want to say, in any shift, it starts with that. It's just facts checking and knowing the true numbers. So I'll go ahead and get started. I have a PowerPoint, Katie. Is that okay that I share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
All right, cool. All right. So I am going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to talk about three things. And we see the ugly corona there, right?
There we go.
So we know it is what it is. It's out here. You got it? Can you see it?
Yes.
Can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so we know it's here, you know, and we have to focus on the things that we can control with it, right? So we can focus on alternative ways to do business, virtual. I'm glad we got Josh, Team, and Gary on our side, because it seems like they were looking through a crystal ball and created this thing called Command 4 years ago. And you know, now a lot of things are super virtual that we can do. So it's here, we know it. We just have to focus on things we can control, and that's protecting ourselves, our families, as well as our clients. So staying masked up and all of that. So let's dig in a little bit here. And all right, so I talked about mindset, attitude, and your approach to life. When you're doing that, people see you, people are watching you. So they're watching what you post when it comes to Corona. You know, how they're looking to see what's your positive mindset. I'm not saying make it seem like everything is gravy, but give suggestions on things we can control, because none of us can control the fact that the COVID-19 is out here, but we can affect how we handle it and what's our approach, and keeping our social distance, and, you know, staying safe when we have to be. So your mindset and your approach to life attracts business to you during this time. So let's dive in a little more. So this is just for the state of Georgia. Like I said, I showed that I did this for my AOC, but I'm sure you can pull up Alabama in your city and kind of see the same thing. There's been an issue with testing. So, and people don't know, the testing sites are almost empty here in Georgia anyway. Like, you can roll up to any one of these sites and get testing. Well, you know, they're saying, oh, we can't get tests, but however, there are so many testing sites that no one is actually going to. So that'll pick up. And I only put testing in here because that's one of the things that have people kind of scared to get back out there, is because they feel like, well, do I have it? Don't I have it? Well, just go get tested. If you think you come in contact, go get tested. So that is available. And I'm only showing this to you guys so that you can, when you're having conversations with buyers, sellers, friends, family, you know, you kind of want to make sure that they understand, like, hey, if you don't feel safe, go get tested. So just wanted to talk about testings. And then another, this slide here, it just talks about deaths. Of course, there's been 1135 when I ran this report. It's probably about a week ago. But only, I think it was like 20 of those cases were people under the age of 65. So these are things that the media and the news are not sharing. Is COVID-19 very serious? Absolutely. But these stats that's pulled here, they're not going to get advertisers to tune in to buy spots on a news station. So you have to know, you know, what somebody motive is, and not for you to go spread and say, well, it was only 20. Well, 20 is way too many anyway. But however, for you to know, so that your mindset you can kind of rationalize and understand that, yes, this is very serious, but it's not the end of the world. So I want you to understand that. And there's definitely been reports of like, if someone dies in a car accident, the EMTs are being told to, you know, that there's a possibility they could have COVID. And if there's a possibility they can have COVID, they're labeling that COVID death. Like I said, to build up media hype and media presence is very serious, but your mindset should know that things like this are going on. So that your mindset will be right and your approach to all of this will be right. So my message in that, the whole Corona thing, is keep calm, control the narrative. So facts check anything that you're hearing out there, kind of dig a little deeper so that you can be of sound mind and positive attitude when it comes to that. So any questions or feedback? I'm no doctor or anything like that. I'm just pulling data. But so if there's something you see here that's like you have a question about it, you know, that's what this is for, just to so that we can have a great mindset going in.
Well,
If
I want
not,
to
I'll
say
move
too.
on to unemployment
I want to say too,
and how
Terrell.
that affects.
I don't know if you've been on those
Yep.
calls with James, but he was talking about a couple of weeks ago how we don't need to be as realtors waiting on the media to announce what's happening around us in our profession. We, just like you're saying, need to control that narrative and paying attention so that we are the trusted source.
Absolutely.
Right? I just want to tag that on there.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying, of course, we're not down. Yep, absolutely, Katie. So let's talk about unemployment a little bit. So these are the numbers. I mean, if you look across the board, we were like, yeah, 3-point-something%. And then the middle of March started to shoot up, and look where we are now. These are unemployment claims, but you have to think about what's the incentive for someone to file for unemployment. Of course, businesses are shut down, right? So if I own a business and I can get a PPP loan if I lay my people off or furlough them, and my people will get 39 weeks of unemployment plus a $6,000 bonus through July. They're probably getting more money than they were on whatever job they were, right? But they still would love their job outside of being on that. But you got to understand why the spike. People had to lay people off, employees off so that they can get the PPP loan, and their people are also getting unemployment. So that will bounce back pretty quick. And this is the U.S. weekly jobless claims, and this is the forecast. So the actual, as you can see in April, is really high, but the forecast is for all of that to go down, right? For that to, as people go back to work, because their jobs will be there when they go back. Most of the people filing for unemployment, and this is a Goldman Sachs unemployment, so 2020, 15%. This is how it'll get back down to that 3-4%. They're anticipating that to take a few years, right? Because some people are not, some businesses are not going to be open, but it's not going to be at a 15% rate. I think by fourth quarter, they're saying we should see half of where we are. Half of the people right now should be back to work. And you got to think about who's out. Like a lot of the workforce is restaurants, hospitalities, airlines. Now airlines are probably going to be hit for a while, but airlines, teachers, and then healthcare workers, not emergency room nurses or hospital workers, but think about all the clinics, you know, orthopedic surgeons and PCPs. They've laid off a lot of their people too, so that they can get the unemployment. So think about once we open back up, restaurants will be open again, doctors' offices will be open again, people will leisurely start to travel again, so hospitality. So all of those people will get those jobs back. And it's not going to happen tomorrow, but they're saying maybe third, fourth quarter, you'll have a big influx. So what does this mean for you, right? Don't sit on the sideline. And I think Katie mentioned this, that James said it on one of the shift calls. This is the time for you to be doing care calls to your database so that as these people start to go back to work and things keep moving, you're right there. And I'll show you a slide in a second that's gonna talk about why you're doing that now as we're in the shift. And this is just another prediction. If you look at the orange and the red line, those are sharp V's, meaning we're going down really quick, but we'll come back up pretty quick. If you look at the Great Recession, 2006 to 2016, you see how it went down and how long it was to come back up, right? 9 years basically to really get all the way back up to where it was once. And then the Great Depression took way longer than that, like 12 years. So we're anticipating at least 2 years to be totally back where we were when this thing, before it started, actually. So riding that wave up is where you get your market share. And I'll show you that in a second. And this is some more about unemployment. I think I beat that horse already. And then this is just dating my age. Forget freshman 15, welcome to COVID-19. Now let's talk about recession a little bit, and then we'll wrap up. So I told you about the V shape. They're saying that we should be good come third, fourth quarter. We should be, these are the experts talking. Everybody's predicting us third, fourth quarter to come back. Goldman, JP, Morgan, and Morgan Stanley. The only one that's not is Wells Fargo. Have you ever did a loan with Wells Fargo? If you have, you would definitely not be listening to their predictions. They are, oh, I don't want to, I hope nobody family works for Wells Fargo or anything like that while I'm saying this, but I would be more inclined to trust the other experts, guys, definitely. So recession does not equal housing crisis. And I'm getting that from historic data. If we look at the housing, the recessions in 80, 81, housing was still up. 91 went down just a smidge. 2001 went up. 2008, of course, housing went down because we were the cause of it. So of course, but out of the last 5 recessions, you're really only looking at one when the home prices went down. This is stuff that you need to be talking to your clients about, or at least putting out there to change the narrative. And will this time be like that time? No. Couple of reasons why. Month supply of inventory for sale was at a 8.2. So we all know that's a buyer's market back in 2007 during that crash. Today it's at 3.1. So inventory is tight already, which drives the supply and demand. Next thing, annual home price appreciation. Value of homes was going up enormously year over year, which is not sustainable. GDP wants it at like 3 or 4%, right? We're much closer to that number now in appreciation of homes. The other thing is the total home equity cashed out. People back then were using their homes as ATM machines. So they were refinancing, pulling money out. So what these numbers show is in 2005, 6, and 7, you were in the hundreds of billions of dollars of people cashing out on homes, right? Now we're still in the billions, but we're at 71 billion as opposed to in the 200 and 300 of billions of dollars of people cashing out. So people have equity in their homes, so they will have a chance to put money on the back end if they do lose their job or whatever. They can still sell. It's not going to foreclosures or short sales and all of that crap because they're not over leveraged in their home. They still have capital in their home. And then in the housing bubble, this was real important. They were giving loans to almost any and everybody. The higher this number, the easier it was to get loans, 100% loans and all of that. Well, when we came out of that correction, we've stayed down kind of in the hundreds. So meaning people who can truly afford home ownership is getting home ownership. So there's not this, I'm barely in the house, and when something happens, I can't afford, I don't have savings or anything of that nature. We don't have that problem. Now, will there be some foreclosures? I'm quite sure there will, but nowhere near like that. So that makes for, there's not going to be a fire sale going on. I'll skip that one. So to wrap that up, the fiscal stimulus provided by the CARES Act, as I just mentioned, there's a lot of help that's going to be out here. So that will prevent foreclosures or anything of that nature. And then two other forces prevent a collapse in housing prices. And one is the supply and demand deficit. So there's pin-up household formation that provide a tailwind to housing demand. Prices grow, accelerates back towards a long-run trend of between 2 and 3% per year. So we don't have that 18, 12, 11% appreciation. And that's all coming from Freddie Mac. So I always try to do a funny slide in between stuff. So this is my Corona Lisa. As you can see, her growth is in. She needs to go to the salon. I know a lot of us can relate to that. And these are local stats. I'm sure Katie can pull your stats for you, but this is just to sum up kind of what I was saying and how the numbers tell this story. These are true numbers in the area that we serve. So if you look at April, and this is new listings hitting the market, we're only down 25%. In a pandemic, this is the month of April. In a pandemic, we're only down 25%, right? So people are still listing their homes. And then this is pending sales, only down 22%. In a pandemic, right? In a pandemic. So, and then closed sales only down 20%. So it's not like it's half, it's not like it's, 80, 70%, it's 20% in a pandemic. So once we're out of this, those numbers are gonna shoot back up. And then average days on market, this was cool. It only went up 1 day. So our average days on market was 53, now it's 54 for the month of April. So people are still purchasing homes at a rapid rate in a pandemic. And then active listings down a little bit, 12%, but nothing outrageous. But this was cool too. Average sales price, guess what? Up. And these numbers are kind of in line across the country. So I'm just doing specific for our area because that's the data that I had. But this is kind of true across the country. Check your data, but it's holding pretty true. So prices are up almost 9%. And month supply of inventory still 3.75. So that number's not creeping up. So that's what that tells you is people are still buying homes, folks, at a rapid pace. But it's all about mindset. No mask. I'm sorry, I can't sew. So that's me with a kitchen top. And so why we need to be in command right now is if you look at this line, it holds true to available income, and parallel to that is the number of agents in the business, right? And in between those lines are the lag, all right? Now, just say we're here right now. We're in survival mode, right? Because we're at the top of the market, and it's gonna go down a little bit. We're in a shift. When you look at this line, the number of agents is gonna be a little lower, and the available income is also gonna go down, right? However, if you look, as you come back up, when you're thriving, if you're if you look at this line and just imagine you're running smart plans, you're making care calls, you're staying engaged with your database. When you start to come back up, the market is going to come up a little faster than other agents who will leave the business or who will sit on the sideline and say, I'm going to wait till it's all over. And then once it's over, they get back started. Look at the lag now. And look at the available income and look at the gap. There's so much more money to be made by fewer agents. So now is the time to stay in it, keep talking to your people, keep educating your people, keep a positive mindset, because what happens is when the market does turn, and it should be a quick V, I mean, we're not talking years, we're talking a few months, then when it does turn in that third or fourth quarter, you're already going. So you're gonna reap the benefits of the turnaround much faster than somebody who's just now starting to get going. They'll be okay eventually, but they call it gaining market share. You would have gained market share because you're staying in now. So I hope that makes sense. And then what happens next? Inventory shortages continue and will cause prices to stay stable. Unemployment will subside and return to a level that supports home sales, which we've talked about. Agent count and activity will recede. Remember that agent count and activity will recede a bit because some people, they don't have this information. They don't know. They don't have information like this. But that's more opportunity for you. If you're on this call right now for a reason, that's more opportunity for you. Double down on what you're doing. Affordability will remain very good. And many of the adaptions that will remain a part of your business. So a lot of this virtual things that you're doing right now, the way that you're doing business, I don't know if you guys know, on your mobile app now, people on your mobile app can request a Zoom showing or virtual FaceTime showing with you, where you go to the house and walk them around and do it on FaceTime. I would not do that unless they send me a pre-approval. However, that is available to you, so that's pretty cool. But a lot of those things are happening so that coming out of this, you will have leverage and systems in place. And then this is my last funny slide of the day. I'll wait 5 more minutes. If no one comes, I'll wash them myself. Employees must wash hands. So that is my talk for today. I hate not being in the room with you guys because I can't get reactions. I really like this to be more of a conversation piece because I want to know your thoughts on this stuff. Am I off my rocker? Do you feel, yeah, that's about right? Give me some feedback about any of the things that I discussed. I know I went over a lot in a short amount of time, but give me some feedback on any ahas, I should say. That's how y'all know it. Any ahas.
Well, hey, Terrell, I do want to say before we hear ahas, we last week went over our market stats, and we're actually down 14%. So it's not even 20%.
It's right there.
I mean, it's not a drastic change. And so I just want to add that. And those of you that maybe missed that one, we have it recorded on YouTube. So go back and learn our market. And we were becoming our market expert so that we can educate our people. So now let's hear some ahas.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Come on, y'all. Speak up. We're all family here.
Well, Terrell, I just want to kind of piggyback off on what you were saying, because it was the very thing that I was going to encourage my PC agents on, to continue to stay focused, because what they focus on is going to expand. And even as we have our PC get-togethers and our one-on-ones, I hear what it is that they're focusing on. And I'm so excited about what's going to expand for them and continue to do their care and compassion calls.
Yes.
Because you would not believe how people are so thankful for those calls, because they know you don't have to stop and think about them. So
Absolutely.
let's continue to aim high and think big.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I can tell you this, I spend a lot of money with a lot of people on a regular basis, and I don't think I've received one call from anybody that I've been doing business with for years and spend my money. My dry cleaner, my barber, as you can see, I ain't talked to him. Uh, but but I have not received one call with people that I've spent, tens of thousands of dollars with a year. I have not received one call, so that's very important. Thank you for sharing that, Vicki.
Hey, the golf course hasn't called you, Terrell? Or
No,
you've been
they
there?
haven't.
You've
They
been
have
there.
not called me. It's calling me, but they haven't called me. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
I
Terrell, I love your slideshow, and I think that the information that you shared is spot on, and I think for people to have something in writing is awesome. And since we're in Alabama, can we use your template?
Absolutely. I will send it to Katie. I'll email it to you, Katie. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Feel free, please feel free to use it. I was this morning, I was like, man, I don't want them thinking like, does he think he's an expert? This is just data that's coming. And I felt that because of we're seeing so much that we have to fact check it. We really do on our own. On our own, we have to fact check that, because there's things in here that that are true, but if you put them in perspective, is not as bad as they want you to believe it is. Right. And it is bad. Don't get me wrong. I check a couple of the boxes. I'm diabetic, so I check a box. Right. My mom checks pretty much every single underlining box. Right. But we're being careful. That's it. We're just being careful. So don't think I'm taking it light at all. It's serious. There's a sign on my door out there that says, "Do not come in here." Right? So I take it very serious, guys. Man, I really want to share one more thing with, not a PowerPoint, but I know I gotta go. I know you guys do. I mean, I'm good, but Katie, I gotta go. Right? You got stuff.
You're out.
Can I say one thing? I wanted to just say one thing, Terrell. You made Terrell. Hey, how are you? Hey,
all right. Good to see you.
You too. You made a really good point just a second ago that you said that your barber and other people that you spend thousands with a year have not reached out to you. And I realized that last week also, but I did something a little different because I realized that a lot of other business people still don't have a business mind just because they have a business. So I used that opportunity to call them, to talk to them about how they can reach out to their clients so that they can continue to, when they do open back up, their clients will have felt like they cared for them and they reached out for them, just like we're doing for our clients. So take that and use this opportunity to reach out to those people that haven't reached out to you, that you do business with, because they may not know what opportunity, well, obviously they don't know what opportunity they're missing out on by reaching out to their database, because they have one also. So
I love it.
it's another way for us to come from gratitude again, and it again sets you back on this level of, wow, thank you for what you're doing to look out for my business.
Man, that is amazing way to look at that. I mean, that is amazing way to look at that. And that's why I love doing stuff like this, because I learn too. So you just taught me something, and immediately, I'm a season ticket holder with the Hawks for a long time, and she hasn't given me a call, my rep. So I am going to pick up the phone and call her today and say, hey, I'm just checking on you, and maybe you should check on, your clients. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Katie, I gotta go.
Okay, you can. I mean, you're welcome.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. You kicking me off?
No, you said.
All right.
You had 20 minutes. So you keep going. You go.
Hey, can I share? I want to share one more thing, and guys, I promise it's not a PowerPoint. It is not a PowerPoint. I hope you guys can see this, and I want to share it because my I got agents in here that is utilizing Facebook ads on a very high level. I know y'all can't see me too good, but I'm gonna see if I can. Matter of fact, let me try to raise it up. All right. So
He's got a robot in there, y'all. He's got a robot.
No, that's fine.
Nothing looking at it.
That's funny. Give me 1 second. I didn't know I would have time to do this, but I really, really, really want to do it.
Please share with us. We would love to hear.
I want to share something with. How many of you guys? Who's out there running Facebook ads right now? Is anyone running Facebook ads?
I don't see any hands right now.
I know, man.
After this
version.
Sarah Little, you said you're running them?
I said just the free version. Right now, I'm still getting our systems up in place so that we can put our ads in, start doing our paid ads.
Yeah, it is. When I tell you, I got agents that are doing great numbers with Facebook ads, and I'm going to share them with you real quick. Where is my notes? In here somewhere. I did not know I would have time for this, but wait a second. Katie, if you use the calculator, then I probably won't need the notes. I can just go through it.
You know, I can do that.
I'm looking for the notes just so I'll have the number. Do you have a calculator?
I do.
If you don't, Katie, I can.
I've got one pulled up on my, let me see.
Okay, you do?
All
right,
okay.
cool.
Yeah, I got one pulled up.
Well, all right, I'm gonna have you help me with this. All right, so let me try one more page. Nope, nope. Ah, there you go. Got it. All right, so if what we're seeing is about $1.94 per lead off of a Facebook ad, right? So I had about 4 agents, because I got about 8 now, but I don't have the data on the other 4. We started this with 4 agents, right? $500 is what they spent on Facebook ads. And you know, Facebook right now, or Keller Williams, is giving you $25. If you run an ad for $75, they're giving you an additional $100 if it's your first Facebook ad. So this will be a cool time to run an ad. These are true proven numbers, right? $500 they spent in a month. You don't have to spend that, but these are people that was already spending like $150, $200. And as they saw it going really well, they doubled down on what they were doing during this time. So $1.94 per ad. If you look, how many leads is that? So $500 divided by $1.94.
Oh, I've typed something else. Hold on. 500 divided by 194. 257.
All right. So 258. I think it's point something, right? So we're rounding up.
It's 0.7.
So 258 leads. Right? Now, we know not all leads turn into a piece of business right away, but 10% of them do, right? In about an 18-month period. 10%, so 10% of that 258 is what?
25.8, so 26.
So 10% comes out to 25, so 26. So 26 people will do something in the next 18 months, right? Now, we know that 3% of those people, 10% of those people will do something in the next 90 days. So if we round up, how many clients is that?
We'll say 3.
All right, so that's 3. So that's 3. Now, what's your average commission there?
3,300.
3,300 is average commission, right?
Yeah.
So 3,300 times 3 is what?
9,900.
So let's just call it 10 grand.
Yeah.
10,000 in the next 3 months. So we're in May, June, July. You got 10 grand in your pocket. This is proven. This is proven. Now, there are a couple of things that and so that's just in the next 3 months. But remember, we said this 10% will do business with us or refer us someone over the next 18 months, right? Mm-hmm. So we took 3 out. How many did that leave us? 23. So we got 23 more. We got 23 more people that's going to buy over the next 18 months at 3,300. How much is that? 3,300 times 23.
75,900. 75,900.
75,900 in the next 18 months. 10 grand in the next 3 months. Guys, I don't know why you're not utilizing Facebook ads. It's a game changer, folks. It is a game changer. And these numbers are proven. Now, there's a couple of things that you have to do when running your Facebook ads. And there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. But these are the things that the agents stuck together, used. They tried stuff. They had to pivot and do different things. But one of them was, the Facebook tagline was, preview this home while sitting in the comfort of yours. Right? That got a lot of clicks. They got that one. And then there's a couple of things that you must do on your end, because I know I have agents here. I run Facebook ads, but they don't have their Kelly push notifications coming to their phone. It's still speed of the lead. Just because you do this, you can't sit back. You still have to have your systems and things in place and your smart plan set up. So Kelly push notifications on your phone. You must have your command set up. So where everything is your picture, your information, you have to have all of that set up. And you must have your consumer app set up. Why do I say consumer app set up? Because that allows you to spy on all these 26 people when they land, and you can see who's active. When you're in your command, you can go to last view from the day before, and it tells you exactly what they did, if they were on your mobile app, if they clicked on one of your IDX links, however if they opened up something on your smart plan, if
the property they looked at,
whatever.
Yeah.
What properties they looked at. So imagine somebody's looking at the same property over and over, and then you just automatically send them a link to that neighborhood. They're going to think you're a genius. Or you send them that property and say, hey, based on the criteria you told me you was looking at, I think I found the property for you. And you send them that same property they've been looking at. Guess what? They're going to request a showing, if nothing else. So you have to do that. And I would set them up on, they said these 2 smart plans are the best. The mobile app smart plan, and of course, neighborhood. So those 2 smart plans, I would go in there to set them up on those. But you should definitely be using and running Facebook ads. And don't go out and put $500 on there tomorrow. But $75, $100, $50, just something to start teasing it. I think it was Sarah that said that they're playing with some stuff. They're running some free stuff. They're doing some things, but do it through command. Also, because the cookies, we have a relationship with Facebook. So it's going to allow you, the more of us that use it, it's going to allow us to even this cost to go down even more, basically, right? And it may not be $1.94 for you. It may be $1. It may be, $3 $3 a lead starting out until you get really good at it. But it's a phenomenal return on your investments to run those Facebook ads. And the cool thing about it is the way the cookies are set up is it's only targeting people who have showed some type of interest in real estate, whether it's paint, whether it's, Home Depot, whatever they're searching, that's why they see your ad. And you'll learn some tricks of the trade, watch a few videos. Don't expect to see your own ad. It's not designed for you. It's designed for people who have showed some interest in real estate. So any questions on this or Facebook ads, overall?
Hey, I want to piggyback on that, Terrell. To put it in perspective, you're saying $1.94. You're saying even could go up to $3. The average lead, guys, that people are paying for, buying leads with Zillow, buying leads with other things, is like $10 to $16.
Absolutely.
So prior to this, people thought they were getting a deal at $10.
Yep. Absolutely.
So when we're talking under $5,
yep.
which is, it's really been in that dollar range, 88 cents. I've seen people do even less than that. But you have to get out there and play with it, is what he's saying. It doesn't just pop up. You have to work it. It works if you work it.
Absolutely, guys. And I'll end with this. This is also because we're talking about giving care calls to our database, to people that we do business with. Also, you can do care calls to other agents in your market that may not be in Keller Williams yet. And this is not recruiting. This is just truly to check on them and strengthen that relationship, so that if things are, when you do put that offer to them, or that you're strengthening that relationship. So don't just stop at potential clients. Reach out to your co-ops and check on them, because I guarantee you they don't have this information. So just check on them and spark a conversation and share some of the things. They will forever be grateful to you. And who knows, one day they may say, you know what, I'm going to call, Sherry and see how they're doing, or go to a training. So call some of those other agents too, folks. I'm telling you, this when I came to Keller Williams and I wasn't looking, it was someone gave me a shift book. And then Diana Kokoska came across the pool and poured into me for about 15 minutes and invited me to Mega Camp. I wasn't looking to move. I was going to fight through it, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And there's a lot of agents out there like that, especially during this time. So thank you guys for having me. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And I can't wait till this is all over. I'm coming down.
Yes,
I'm coming to see y'all. I have to. All right, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Terrell. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, guys. Are y'all still with me? I got a couple of things I want to share with you all before we wrap up today. Share my screen. Let's see. Okay, can y'all see the screen? Everybody good? Okay. So, cool. Be to achieve. And I put this picture in here today earlier this week, before the call today with James Shaw. And if any of you guys were on it, I shared a little excerpt from our Facebook group, but that it's not be, do, achieve. And it's not, they changed it from be, do, have. It's be, do, be, do, be, do, be, do, be, do, be, do. You're going to get bored. You're going to get, maybe even a little frustrated, but you're keeping at that process. And, as you're diving in, it gets a little messy, but you're constantly doing those activities that you need to be doing to get to that level of achievement that you have. And Terrell joined us today. He's in Atlanta. He's phenomenal. Join his network on Kelly in his referral group, because he's awesome. And if you guys have anybody for the outside of Atlanta, send that over to him, whether it's an agent referral or a buy or sell. If you don't have a referral partner in the Atlanta area, he will hook you up with somebody. I do want to welcome really quick. We have the Pinnacle Group and that's Katie, Sarah, Rebecca, Lakeisha, and Lisa. And then they actually joined us last month. And then this month we have Maylin, Joanne, Algerie, Cherie, and I actually just got a text that we have someone else joining us. So it's been exciting. We've seen a lot of growth lately with some phenomenal people joining our family. And so we're just so thankful for them. And we just want to welcome them with open arms, air hugs, virtual. And we can't wait till, like Terrell said, we're all in here. I'm in the training room right now, and it's sad to see all the empty chairs. And we put out some opening measures yesterday that we emailed out to everybody, how we've got a 30, 60, and 90-day plan where we're going to phase back into normalcy, if you will. I actually, the virtual trainings have been much better than I would have anticipated them being. And I think we've really connected that way, yet I cannot wait to see you guys in this room. And so we're asking that everybody come in. Clients are now welcome, no more than 3 at a time. We want everybody to reserve a conference room if you're going to use it, so we have the opportunity to clean between people coming in, and everybody will be wearing masks in the common areas. So that way we can all keep everybody safe. First and foremost. So it's Red Day week, yay! And that means we're doing our annual community service project. It happens every May, and this year it's on Thursday. I did an update yesterday. We had about, I want to say $500 the last update I did. As of this morning, we have $800. And so our original goal was 1,000, so that's really good. Our initial plan has evolved. We have got some restaurant partners that are going to partner with us, and we're actually going to feed Haynes Ambulance Service. They serve the Tri-County area. They run the ambulance service. Their crew members take care of everybody and take everybody into the hospital. And that's not just with COVID, right? They're constantly going into people's homes and putting their self at risk. And we just wanted to thank them and give back to them. And so that's how it worked out. We are nailing down the plans this afternoon as far as what that looks like. And we'll send an email and we'll put it on Facebook. And so whoever wants to join us can do so. We'll be taking them food to feed their crew. So we'll do one in the Montgomery location. We've actually partnered with Bojangles. So thank you, Marcel, for making that happen. And then we're partnering with a barbecue place in Wetumpka to feed the Wetumpka location. So they have about 150 crew members total. So you guys are making a great impact on our community, and just continuing to share that that's what we're doing. We'll be doing some photographs when we feed, and so that's another way that you can communicate with your database what your company did to give back during this time. And so typically we do more of a like habitat or something along those lines, and yet this year we just shifted gears and we made sure that we could still give back regardless. So that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud to say that, and I'm excited to share that with our community, that you guys have raised $800. That's pretty awesome. I did want to talk about Pivot Shift Ahead. If you guys are not, this is the group, that's the free group. It started right when COVID happened. I think there's about 60,000+ realtors in it. There's a call every morning from, and he does it live on Facebook, from 7 to 7:15 or 7:20. And I've called it almost every morning. Every time I'm thankful that I did. Even if I go back and watch the recording, it's really powerful. And you have people popping in on that call, kind of saying what they're doing, what their area looks like. And it's been really good. So be sure that you check that out if you have not yet already. Bold Pivot is our second week today. So I have not seen anybody's scorecard yet. So I want to be sure that we are reporting that in. And if we think we need to do a separate group. I know several people I've talked to has their accountability partners. They've already been working with them and talking with them, but that's how we get the most out of BOLD, is the participation. And there's a BOLD law. How you participate in here is how you participate out there. And so everybody has made the initial investment of the $99 to be in the BOLD program. I want you guys to get the most from it. So be sure that you're all in to this. We had here's our schedule. Today is at 1 o'clock, and then Red Day is Thursday. So our session will actually be on Friday, because Keller Williams does not do any business on Red Day. It's all about giving back. So I want to congratulate our Ignite graduates. We had a phenomenal group of individuals that really were all in. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. We did about 22 hours together starting April 1st morning. We had our wrap party on Friday, and I foolishly thought we were going to be talking about the content and the training. And these guys, y'all, you're about to see them on the top producer board. So just look out for them. I'm so incredibly proud of them. Each one of them are also in the productivity coaching program. And so just watch out. For those of you that weren't able to do Ignite, almost every session is recorded and put on our YouTube channel. So check that out if you missed those. We went over the full gamut. I know we're close on time. Does anybody do you want to just do like 1 minute why somebody should do Ignite? Who would like to step up and say why Ignite 2.0 is so great?
I'll go, Katie. It's Shakira.
Okay.
I think even if you've done it before, times are different now. So we focus on the now. So we focus on how we should handle things now. So I mean, as well as when we're over all of this, but it's different. I think it's like reading a book. Every time you read something, you get something different from it. Yeah.
I think we all really actually bonded together in this time. In times of uncertainty, the material was written prior to COVID. No one was going to anticipate that, and we just went with it. And so I really enjoyed it, and I think that hearing the feedback from everybody that was in it, like Shakira, you said, everyone felt like there was a reason they were doing it, and it really helped their business. I do have one more tip to show you all, okay? So if you go into the consumer app, and Terrell actually touched on this today, and he had no idea we were going to be going over this. So on our national call this week for Keller Williams International for the leadership, they went over that they just added this feature. So if you send anybody a neighborhood nurture, or someone has your app and they're looking at property on it, any property they look at, there'll be a little spot over here underneath the initial picture that says ask your agent or schedule a video tour. If they select ask your agent, and this is why it's so important that you're sharing your technology, because once the customer has selected an agent, they're not going to go unselect and select another one. They are then attached to you, the realtor. So if I'm in here and I'm looking at this property on Lockfield Drive, and I say, ask my agent. Well, if I got Katie Douglas, she sent me the site, she sent me the neighborhood nurture, I'm in her database, that link is going to go to her. And that notification is going to pull up on her Kelly app. That notification is going to pull up on her command database, the dashboard with the little bell at the top, and it's going to be by my name, okay? The person selects schedule video tour. They put in 3 times that they're available. They put in morning, afternoon, or evening, and then they select if they want a walkthrough in person or if they want it to be strictly video. When they select strictly video, it asks them to select, do they prefer Zoom, Google Meet, Facebook Live, FaceTime? I mean, it goes through the whole, it gives them the option so that you, the agent, can say, oh, this person wants to see this property, and you can schedule that. So that's really neat. No other company has that. I want you guys to be utilizing this and knowing what that looks like. Terrell also touched on the Facebook ads. Jay Papazan did an interview with a Facebook product manager recently in KW Connect. I'm going to get that recording and share it on our Facebook group, our private group, so y'all can watch it, because he's really talking about best use and best way to do some of the ads. And he talks about some of the features and the relationship that KW has with Facebook. So it's a tool in our toolbox. We have some phenomenal ones. We need to just be using those. And it's all about experimenting with it, getting out there, and learning more about it. Does anybody have anything else? I know I kind of did that in a nutshell. Terrell tricked me. He initially said all he had was 20 minutes. Yet I'm so glad he went on. So does anybody have anything they want to add before we wrap up our business meeting today? No? Yes? Thank you all for joining us. We'll be sending out notice today once we have the final plans on Red Day food delivery for tomorrow. So you guys can be aware, and anybody that wants to participate is welcome to. Okay? Bye, y'all. Have a great day.
Bye, you too.